Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're taking a massive, complex system and breaking it down into clear, actionable insights. We've got a truly fascinating look at how the Philippines is completely modernizing its vital school funding network. Specifically, we're looking at the Department of Education's brand new MOOE, that's Maintenance and Other Operating Expenses web-based monitoring system. For the focused learners out there who absolutely love seeing how giant bureaucratic processes get streamlined into sleek digital workflows, well, this is going to be incredibly satisfying to unpack.
Now, you might be wondering, why go through all this trouble? Well, we have to start with the stakes, and the stakes here are absolutely massive. A $300 million loan program from the Asian Development Bank. This funding is part of the Secondary Education Support Program, which is aimed at improving education across the entire Philippines. But here's the catch. This money isn't just handed over in one giant lump sum. No way. It actually hinges on transforming a historically sluggish, manual paperwork process into a perfectly streamlined, real-time digital system.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, why digitize school funds? Number 2, meet the MOOE system. Number 3, getting registered and approved. Number 4, setting up your school. And finally, number 5, requesting and transferring funds. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Why Digitize School Funds, the context behind the clicks. So this isn't just about rolling out some cool new software for the sake of looking modern. It's about strictly securing necessary funding. The entire Asian Development Bank loan uses something called a results-based lending framework. Essentially, the ADB only releases funds when specific, verified results are actually achieved. The magic metric here is DLI 5.2, or Disbursement Linked Indicator 5.2. This indicator is only triggered when at least 50% of secondary schools receive their MOE budget completely on time. So that makes timely funding not just a nice-to-have administrative goal, but an absolute contractual necessity to unlock that larger loan. But getting there is no small feat. The painful paper-based past meant the physical routing of documents, causing massive delays and incredibly heavy workloads for school staff. But transitioning creates its own set of new hurdles, right? A fully online system demands strong internet connectivity, which honestly isn't always a guarantee in every remote school. Plus, ruling this out means navigating the initial absence of a dedicated central office help desk. It's just a massive transitional balancing act. To conquer those hurdles, we turn to Section 2, Meet the MOOE system, a modern digital solution. To eliminate the physical paper chase and handle thousands of schools simultaneously, the infrastructure literally has to be rock solid. What we're looking at is a high-availability, cloud-based system architecture built on Microsoft Azure. By using a managed infrastructure, DEPIT is ensuring a 99.9% uptime. And it's device-agnostic, meaning a school head could theoretically check on their funds using a mobile phone if they needed to. It keeps the digital doors open, ensuring that technical crashes just don't stand in the way of student resources. And this brilliantly illustrates the organizational logic built into that cloud architecture. It provides total horizontal and vertical integration. Think about it. It tracks every single transaction, every single peso, starting way up at the central office, flowing down to the regional offices, into the divisions, and finally reaching the individual schools. It provides real-time data at every single level, effectively digitizing the exact controls that auditors look for. Moving right along to Section 3, Getting Registered and Approved, Unlocking Your Digital Access. Now that we understand the why and the how from a high level, let's shift this explainer into a practical walkthrough. Picture yourself as the school head, the protagonist of this story, trying to unlock digital access to your operating funds. The journey starts at the clean, straightforward login portal at moe.depd.gov.ph. The very first line of security requires your official DPED email address to even attempt a login. Once you're authenticated through Google, you land on the access request form, where you declare exactly who you are and where you belong in that massive hierarchy we just looked at. So, the workflow is highly structured. Step 1, log in. Step 2, select your role, say school head, then pick your region, like Region 5, and your division. Step 3, you've got to toggle your specific school level assignment, whether that's elementary, junior high, or senior high, before you finally click Request Access. Now, the really interesting part isn't just the steps, but what happens after you click. You actually don't get in immediately. To maintain rigorous financial security, a school's division office, or SDO admin, must manually review and approve your request. They basically act as the gatekeepers, filtering out any unauthorized personnel or general teachers who just shouldn't have access to school-level financial routing. Okay, once that SDO admin approves your account,
you're in, which kicks off Section 4, Setting Up Your School, Building Your Financial Foundation. Before you can ask for a single peso, you have to build your digital financial foundation. The very first task inside the platform is completing the school profile, which includes logging the names of the school head and any finance staff. But the absolute most vital part is the bank account module. So the crucial point is this: correctly inputting your official government servicing bank, or GSB, account number and the required maintaining balance is the literal bridge between a digital request on a screen and actual cash arriving in the bank. If this is wrong, the whole system just breaks down for your school. That is exactly why precision at this stage is everything. School heads must meticulously inspect these details. You're essentially setting up the exact coordinates for where the central office will wire the funds. Double and triple checking this ensures the money actually makes it to the programs and the students that need it without bouncing back due to a silly typo. Which brings us to the climax of our explainer, Section 5, Requesting and Transferring Funds, the Flow of Money. Your profile is set, your bank is linked, and now it's time for the school head to actually request their operating expenses for the quarter. Inside the Requests module, the process is delightfully straightforward compared to the old paper system. You select the quarter, input the amount based on your approved budget, and attach a single PDF document. But hey, pay close attention to Step 2. The system demands strict compliance here. The PDF must be your signed certification of cash advance, and there is a rigid naming convention. It has to be formatted exactly like name of school _ first quarter 2025 with 0 spaces. The system grades this like a very strict English teacher. Once submitted, you simply inform the division bookkeeper. Let's move to and see how this builds. Think about the administrative shift this creates. Just remember the old way for a second. A school head physically traveling to the division office with stacks of paper, crossing their fingers that the right signatory is actually at their desk, often resulting in agonizing delays. Now contrast that with the new reality, an instant digital submission that immediately pops up on the dashboard of the SDO admin. It is literally a night and day transformation in efficiency. And here is the invisible back office magic that happens right after you click submit. The SDO admin verifies your requested amount matches the bookkeeper's records. If it matches, boom, they approve it instantly. That digital approval automatically triggers the accounting unit to prepare the payroll. The digital file then pings the budget unit to obligate the funds. Finally, it routes right back to accounting to create the disbursement voucher and the final bank transfer document, known as the LDDAPA. What used to take weeks of chasing signatures now flows seamlessly through a unified dashboard. By solving this massive logistical puzzle, the Philippines is not just securing a $300 million ADB loan, they're fundamentally giving time back to educators. And it leaves us with this final thought. If a structured, secure web system can successfully revolutionize how thousands of schools receive their most vital operating funds, what other deeply entrenched bureaucratic hurdles can we digitize next? Because ultimately, the goal of all this technology is to spend less time managing spreadsheets and more time focusing on the students. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.